Hello, I am Mr. Awesome X300, aka David Kenny. Today I'm going to be talking to you about part 2 of Weeping Peninsula, aka Southern Limgrave. We last left off with the demi-human forest ruins, didn't we? Well, I got some good news for you. It's time to move on to the next part, starting with Weeping Evergall. Now, as I mentioned before, Evergalls are basically prisons. This one houses a frosty warrior. And do you know what this is? The ancient hero of Zamor. Now, this is a knight of Zamor. Who knows how he got in this Evergall? But what we do know, or should I say what I do know, well, you're going to know this now, that this belongs to the Knights of Zamor, a race that long ago fought the fire giants. I'll be talking more about them when we get to the mountaintops of the giants because the last survivor is the main boss of that area. That's right. That last fire giant is the main boss. As far as attacks are concerned of this guy, that houses the Zamor curved sword. I'll be talking more about it once we get to the last ancient hero Zamor in the mini dungeon in the mountaintops of the giants. Anyway, as of right now, you gotta be wary that at half health, he starts to produce frosty attacks. And frosty buffs for the sword too. That's right, frostbite is another one of those attributes, damage attributes like that I mentioned. You gotta be wary of that though, because that does have some status problems. Once you beat this one, however, you're rewarded with this Radagon Scar Seal. This is a legendary talisman, for it is a rune carved with an eye regarding Radagon, the current Elden Lord, and the pre-final boss. Well, should I say final boss? The true final boss is the Elden Ring incarnate. Massive spoilers for Endgame. Anyway, the following stats are increased: Vigor, Endurance, Dexterity, and Strength. There's another seal that houses the other 4 stats. I'll get to that when we deal with Dragon Barrow. Anyway, at Southern Weeping Peninsula, at the southern one, is the Tower of Return. It takes you to Leyendell for a little premature visit. Unfortunately, it's over leveled if you're just fresh tarnished. Guarding it is a mounted Godric Knight and some Godric forces. Just to let you know. And one more thing. Another endgame spoiler. When you get to add the capital of Ash, because of the Erd Tree after you deal with the Rune of Death and Giant's Flame inflicts upon it, it'll be inaccessible. Just to let you know, just a heads up. Anyway. Oh, one more thing. Near there is the isolated merchant shack. You get there the best weapon in Elden Ring, in my opinion, and the one that saved me throughout the entire journey. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Zweihander, a hand-wielded light colossal greatsword. It can also be a needle and can also swipe for massive damage. I'm just letting you know that because I love it so much. Zweihander forever! Anyway, sorry about that. The tombs, there's also a part of the Sweeping Peninsula called Tomb Squared. These are the Tomb Squared ruins. These are tiny compared to the others. On top we have rats. At the bottom we have pages. They just serve a master. And they have bows. Perfumer bows. And estocks to, strike you. Estocks are, by the way, thrusting swords, aka swords that are better striking you for strike damage. Now, once you defeat the 2 pages under the cellar, the chest contains the Winged Scythe. It deals holy damage. Angel's Wings is the unique skill it has. It produces 2 wings Actually, I don't know what it does, but what I do know is that it's a good early game weapon. Or a mid game one, too. Anyway, another set of ruins is the Witchbane ruins, guarded by carrion forces and also a poison swamp. And all, just so you know, Torrent is immune to poison, and its stronger variant, the Scarlet Rot. I will talk more about this Scarlet Rot when we deal with Kaliad in that its own video, as I like to call it, Rot City. Lore reasons, that is. Anyway, an NPC's in prison here. It's just an illusion, though. It's Selen, just so you know. That's right, she put in an illusion at the Waypoint Ruins. This is the real Selen. The carrion forces guarding her, by the way, are marionette soldiers, basically puppets to serve the glintstone sorcerers, like I mentioned in the previous part. Some of them have spiked spears, some of them have arrows, and others have daggers. But there's also a school of graven mages, aka balls of sorcerers that produce mists or like projectiles that rain down on you. Oh, want to see some nightmare fuel? I'm sure you want to say this. Selen created those, and in the end of her quest line, she becomes one herself. Anyway, also down there is a Celian sorcery called Ambushard. Now, Celian sorceries are mainly invisible sorceries. After all, Kalian, spoiler, the sorcerers there are invisible. This one casts a projectile behind to surprise your enemies. Just to let you know about that too. Now, one more thing. Actually, two more things. There's this thing called the Frenzied Flame. It is madness. Another attribute damage, by the way. So mad, in fact, if you become the Great Lord of Frenzy Flame, it's the bad ending. Melania will hunt you down and Torrent won't be your spirit steed anymore. DLC reasons to be explained in the DLC. Anyway, the stench of madness in this village. The villagers here are mad and so are the rats. They have yellow eyes that afflicts the frenzied flame. I do not want to have those, for that not only turns you mad, it also loses, you also take damage. Just to let you know. In this village, there's this flame crest wooden shields. I actually don't know if this is true, but I just put it in anyway since it's at the village. Wielded by those afflicted with madness. I'm honestly not sure about that, but I just want to put that in just in case. For some reason, it's in a village full of frenzy. The frenzied flame might get to it. Who knows? But what is dealing with the frenzied flame is this. At the nearby Kalu Baptismal Church. To start your journey to madness and chaos. That's right, the frenzied flame's ultimate goal is to spread chaos throughout the lands between. And all sin will melt away. Now, I will be getting to how to become the Lord in an underground legacy dungeon video, or a mini one. Either way, you don't want, if you become one with the frenzied flame, there's only one way to go back. And that way includes defeating 2 super bosses. 2! And they are hard. Super bosses, by the way, are endgame bonus optional bosses. I'll get to them when we deal with their respective legacy dungeons. Anyway, one more thing. This is a rise. Rises are throughout the lands between as well. There's even one in the shadow of the Erdtree. They have challenges for Tarnished before entering. This one tasks you to find 3 wise beasts, also known as turtles, throughout the area. And I believe one of them's floating in the air. Anyway, once you find those beasts, you climb up to the tower to get a memory stone. Memory stones are like talisman slots. You get more to equip yourselves. One more thing. Now, there is one shield that I want to talk to you about because it's probably a good one and also a good cosplay build. I didn't put it on here, but I'm going to tell you it anyway because it increases your stamina, just like the other items this kind has. The Great Turtle Shell, located only behind a Spirit Spring Tower. Spirit Springs, by the way, are basically jumping for Torrent, and you go higher, but they're only available when you're on Torrent. Anyway, the Great Turtle Shell boosts stamina. And also, it's a good Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cosplay build. I've seen people do it when I help people. Now, there's one more other thing I forgot to mention. The Erdtree avatars. The exception of Limgrave and Capital Outskirts, they're all over the minor Erdtrees. And also Mount Gelmir, but something else is there. Erdtree avatars have a staff. They can use to pound you, swipe you, and also stomp their butts. Just be wary, they have recoil damage. And also, these avatars like to spew golden projectiles at you, and you better run fast from them. I don't think dodging will help. Anyway, once you defeat them, you get crystal tears to use for your flask of wondrous physic. Anyway, now, I hope you like this Weeping Peninsula thing. I usually go there before I challenge Stormvile, just to make it easier. Anyway, next video we'll be talking about Lorenia of the Lakes. That is probably going to be the longest one of these videos, and will have multiple parts, more than 2 and more than 3. Until then, please like and subscribe, and notifying when videos are available is what is needed for the bell. The bell makes when you click the bell, you get notifications from me as to when I post. Until then, see ya, bye, bye.